The love of money is the root of all evil. So why can't we resist the temptation? In the timeless words of the New Testament, 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, this ancient admonition echoes through history, a warning against the seductive powers of wealth accumulation. Yet, despite millennia of attempts by civilizations and religions to curb its harms, through bans on usury, calls for communal sharing, and visions of equitable societies, the temptation persists. Today, global wealth disparity has reached unprecedented levels, with the richest 1% holding a record 52 trillion in wealth, while the total net worth of the ultra high net worth class, those with over 30 million, stands at $59.8 trillion, equivalent to double the annual GDP of the United States. References number 1 and 2. Why do these efforts fail? As we'll explore, partial restrictions create loopholes that empower the few, much like how the USSR socialist experiment crumbled in the face of persistent global capitalism. True change demands universal coordination, but finance's grip on politics and wars ensures that status quo endures. This isn't just economics, it's a profound human struggle, where personal responsibility and free will often serve as illusions peddled by the powerful to hoard resources, leaving the masses to bear the blame. Drawing from Persian roots in banking and broader historical patterns of cosmic and social reckoning, this article unpacks how humanity's battle with money's allure has shaped our world and why awakening to collective consciousness might be our only escape. Ancient foundations, the birth of usury and early regulations. Money's corrupting influence isn't new. It traces back to the dawn of civilization. In ancient Mesopotamia, around 1760 BCE, the Code of Hammurabi regulated interest rates, capping them at 33% for grain loans and 20% for silver, to prevent exploitation, but it didn't ban usury outright. Reference number 3. This pragmatic approach reflected a society where credit fueled trade along the Euphrates. Yet, unchecked lending could lead to debt slavery. Further east, ancient India imposed some of the earliest outright bans. Vedic texts circa 1500 to 500 BCE, including the Manusmriti, condemned usury as sinful, prohibiting Brahmins from engaging in it, and viewing moneylenders as morally corrupt. Reference number 4. Jainism and Buddhism extended this, rejecting interest as exploitative and against ethical livelihood. These prohibitions aimed to foster harmony in agrarian societies, but they were caste-specific and often ignored by merchants, allowing inequality to fester. In the Achaemenid Persian Empire, 550 to 330 BCE, which pioneered proto-banking with transferable payment orders, usury thrived unregulated in private houses like the Murashu firm. Zoroastrianism criticized greed but didn't prohibit interest outright, emphasizing fair dealings in a collectivist framework. Reference number 5. This openness to finance helped build an empire of tolerance under Cyrus the Great, yet it sowed the seeds for disparity. Religious bans, noble intentions, partial success. As religions formalized, usury became a moral battleground. Judaism introduced a partial ban in the Torah, Exodus 22:25, Deuteronomy 23:19-20. No interest among fellow Israelites, but permissible to foreigners. Reference number 6. This in-group ethic protected community cohesion, but created an out-group loophole, enabling Jewish diaspora communities to dominate money lending in medieval Europe, where Christians and Muslims faced stricter prohibitions. Christianity universalized the ban, drawing from Jewish scripture. By the 4th century CE, the Council of Nicaea forbade clergy from usury. He expanded it to all believers by the medieval period, with Thomas Aquinas deeming it unnatural. Reference number 7. Canon law and Roman traditions reinforced this, but the Church's prohibition stifled some lending, yet evasions like bills of exchange, hidden interest via currency trade flourished among Italian bankers. Like the Medici. Reference number 8. The Reformation eased restrictions. Calvin permitted moderate interests, aligning with emerging capitalism. Islam, emerging in the 7th century CE, imposed a total ban on riba, usury or interest, in the Quran 2:275-279, promoting profit sharing instead. Reference number 9. This aimed to prevent exploitation in trade-heavy Arabia, fostering communal welfare. Yet, workarounds like murabaha, cost-plus financing emerged, and modern Islamic finance navigates global capitalism with asset-backed instruments. These bans curbed overt exploitation, but failed systematically. Partial rules like Judaism's allowed groups to excel in finance internationally, filling voids left by others' full prohibitions. This dynamic highlights a key insight. If not everyone changes, the unchanged dominate. Historically, usury critiques from Plato, Aristotle, Seneca condemned it as immoral, yet economic pressures ensured its persistence. The dialectic of failure. Why local bans undo themselves? The analogy to USSR versus USA is apt. Soviet attempts at abolishing private finance collapsed amid global capitalism's persistence, much like religious bans eroded under economic necessity. The Church effectively eased usury enforcement by the 19th century, bowing to modern banking. Reference number 10. Today, globalization amplifies this. Wealth inequality between nations has decreased, but within them is surged, with countries like Brazil, Russia, and South Africa topping the charts. Reference number 11. Finance's influence on politics and wars exasperates this. Historically, banks funded conflicts, from the Medici financing Renaissance wars to US banks leveraging World War II debt for global dominance. References 12 and 13. The American Bank War, 1830s, showed how central banking intertwined with politics, with Andrew Jackson vetoing the second bank's charter amid fears of elite control. Reference number 14. Today, lobbying by financial institutions shapes policy, with the sector spending billions annually to influence regulations, while wars like Ukraine spike government borrowing, inflating economies and widening gaps. Reference number 15. Modern illusions, wealth disparity and the myth of free will. In 2025, disparity dwarfs historical levels. The ultra-wealthy population, over 30 million, grew to over 676,000 by projections, with their collective net worth soaring. Reference number 16. Old money often stems from exploitation, slavery, colonialism, yet society promotes the narrative that personal responsibility fixes it. Reference number 17. This is the deception. Free will is a tool for the powerful, echoing critiques of capitalism's self-destruction through excess, like factory farming commodifying life for borders justifying atrocities. Money's love fragments consciousness. Towards unity, a global reckoning, humanity's attempts to resist money's temptations. From Hammurabi's caps to Islamic riba bans, reveal a pattern. Isolated efforts falter without global buy-in. As in USSR's fate, local change unravels against unchecked greed. Banking sway over wars and politics ensures this, but the crises it breeds, inequality, conflicts, they may shatter the illusions. The lesson is to resist through awareness, reject separation, embrace collectivism. Technology like AI could enable true sharing, but only if coordinated universally.